All right, y'all. Today we're gonna look at this boudoir photography business, see if they have BSS with their local or their city Google search here in Vacaville, California. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we take declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, which means full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned video, home video, whatever, main video, wherever you're at. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. We got our full, intent spectrum here. High intent peeps over on the left, lowest intent peeps over on the right. For boudoir photography business is rising, most likely we're pulling in people from the entire intent spectrum. And if our boudoir photography business is falling, we're missing chunks of people across somewhere on the intent spectrum. So here we're talking about BSS, the highest intent peeps. These people search for boudoir photo shoots right now on all the different four big social media sites. So social search and Google search. And over way on the right, that is their brand Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. We talk about BLCS. We currently only work with the boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. And so Facebook ads has the lowest intent peeps, interruption ads, Facebook, Instagram, which is going to be actually the largest volume of people that exist in a city. All right, so BSS, boudoir search sameness. So when a boudoir photographer, say there's 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. So 0 slots on page 1 on Google, so we're on page 2 or deeper, effectively invisible, because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So approximately 80% of the market, so the bulk of the market ain't never going to see if we're on page 2 or deeper. And we actually want to, even if we got 1 slot, it's still not good enough. That's still boudoir search sameness because we look the same as everyone else. Everyone else can have 1 slot as well. So what's a buyer going to do? They're just going to, right click, open everyone's website, open a new tab, everyone down page 1. Probably won't even go to page 2, which is approximately 80% of searchers never do. So we're going to assume that they don't even go to page 2. They're just going to contact every boudoir photographer on page 1 near them and get price quotes and call it a day, and then kind of pick the best out of all those. So as a result, boudoir search sameness, no bueno. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google is actually not normal. That's extremely common. It's not normal to have that few number of slots page 1 on Google. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. First one everyone knows about, nearly everyone knows about, market saturation. Second one, nearly nobody knows about, which is the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, that's someone gets a new iPhone and they throw up their Google My Business profile and their website saying they're now for boudoir, or they're now a boudoir photographer. And get new gear like a camera, then they're posting the mom Facebook groups saying they're now for boudoir photo shoots. So market saturation, more boudoir photographers for the same number of buyers, increases in the supply side, makes it harder for each seller to, make a sale. Now, the false belief of page 1 equality. Okay, this is, from what I've seen, is the #1 killer boudoir photography businesses, where originally people accepted page 1 equality as normal. Like, it's normal for every boudoir photographer to have either 0 or 1 slots on page 1. And yeah, I was ranked, my website was ranked on page 1, but, someone else came in, their website got ranked above mine. I got pushed off to page 2, but, that's simply how it is. I simply got to accept it. There's nothing I can do. It's just part of the game. When actually this is 100% false. This is a 100% false belief, because what I have learned is Google will actually give as many slots on page 1 to those who want to put in the effort to acquire those slots. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 Google search in only 10 days. So I know this is true. I've done it. And so this false belief of page 1 equality, it's like a mental cage. People don't even look for a solution. They don't even try to figure something out because they don't even know it's possible. But in 2 pictures here, we'll see that it actually is possible, or 4 or 5 pictures here. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. And that's because, if We got 0 slots on page 1, we're on page 2. Approximately 80% of searches never even going to find us. So yes, we're disappearing. Even if we got 1 slot on page 1, not good enough. We look the same as everyone else. Going to be price shop compared to everyone else. And a buyer's just going to click and open everyone's website on page 1 and price shop everyone. So we got to get more slots on page 1 to kick out. And also, so we got more slots on page 1. We're also kicking out our competitors. So actually, we get price shopped against fewer peeps. And disappearing boudoir photographer, it's like the canary in a coal mine. If we got BSS or disappearing boudoir photographer, we are, pretty. That means the business is on the path to disappearing as well. So luckily, we now have a solution. BSS is treated with social search saturation, our SQ'd methodology, and it works exactly like it says. We saturate social search with the highest intent keywords, kind of like, the small rivers flowing down the backside of the Andes Mountains. And once we do that, saturate, that flows into the Amazon River, which is Google page 1 search. That's the end result of doing SQ'd methodology correctly. And again, yes, I have done this for myself. Now, the magical thing about SQ'd methodology is it's the only thing I've seen for boudoir photographers that is able to successfully get rid of, fight against and actually overcome market saturation. So why is that? Let's say we're in DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. Or let's say we're in DC. And there's 1 million boudoir photographers in DC. They all got a website saying they do boudoir photography. Same as us, we're one of them. Everyone's fighting to be ranked page 1 on Google. But let's say we crank up SQ'd methodology to the max. So we crank up SQ'd methodology to the max, and we take the first 300 slots across all, on social search. It's all us. And as a result, or the first 300 searches on Google for also the highest intent buyer keywords, those who want a boudoir photo shoot in their city. And as a result, literally the first 30 pages, organic search results on Google, is us. It's, it's 10, it's literally 10 organic slots per page. So we take the first 30 pages up with our 300 slots that we've captured, and our competitors, nobody can find them on organic results until the organic search results till page 31. So when buyers search anywhere, social or Google, we're basically the only one that they find. I mean, they probably ain't going to page 31 on Google. So as a result, whose business is growing? Ours. Even though there's 999,999 other boudoir photographers in our city. And why is that? Because buyers can't, it's hard for them to even find anyone else because we saturated search everywhere so strongly across social and Google. So again, this is the only solution I've seen that allows boudoir photographers to successfully outcompete market saturation. Something that has momentum. Sure, ads, they give me one more slot on Google for PPC, but their momentum goes down to 0 once you stop spending for them. SQ'd methodology, it maintains momentum. It has momentum, not infinite momentum, but it has way more momentum than an ad that instantly drops to 0 momentum once you stop spending for it. Now, once treated with SQ'd methodology, we have page 1 visibility. A bonus side effect of this is for every new slot we occupy on page 1, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Remember, approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. They're page 1 only searches. Yeah, we're making them invisible to approximately 4/5 of the marketplace. And obviously, that means we're going to be price shopped against fewer boudoir photographers. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. We have the GBC recommended minimum. We want to hit 3 out of 10 slots on page 1. I feel like that's kind of the first maximum point that we reach, where if every other boudoir photographer has 1 and we got 3, and subconsciously buyers going to be thinking, man, why is Google pushing this person 3 times? Everyone else only 1. I'm going to, I'll click all 3 on this one person. And in the very rare chance someone else has 2, well, we'll be we'll be, out competing them as well because we got 3. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality, which everyone used to accept as normal, but more and more people are not accepting as normal anymore. We now have the solution, luckily, finally, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page 1 visibility. We become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. All right, next up, my results using S-cubed methodology for myself. So I wanted to rank for the keyword BLCS boudoir. I want to dominate page 1 on Google. So let's go down to the organic slots. So organic slot page 1, or organic slot 1, IG, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I did this in 10 days. I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 on Google. And I exclusively used S-cubed methodology to achieve this. So these are the results I've gotten. So now main event here, we're going to look at this boudoir photographer of Vacaville, California. I might have to copy this, bring it over if I don't have the tab up. So we're going to see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for their local and city search. Actually, their local and city search is actually the same in this case. All right. There's a Vacaville. All right, so going at the organic. Nope. 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 There we go. We got one. And let's see. Nope. 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 All right, so we got 1 out of 10. So, in Vacaville, where is this place? Stockton. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's between San Fran and Sacramento. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 slots for Vacaville, California. So yes, we do have BSS, or this boudoir photography business does have BSS, boudoir search sameness, and we have not met the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google, and that's recommended because, dude, if we're 3 out of 10 local and 3 out of 10 local search, 3 out of 10 city search, page 1, we can basically guarantee we're not disappearing. We're either treading water or we're growing, most likely growing. That's why we want to hit 3 out of 10. So, if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, so you've done the BSS search for local and for city for yourself, and you are you're saying you either got BSS or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google, and you've seen S-cubed methodology, like, wow, that's exactly what I need. That's what I want. That's what I've been waiting for. Kind of solve this, kind of dominate page 1, which honestly is kind of secondary benefit. Kicking our competitors off page 1 is probably the most important thing. Getting them to page 2, where they're invisible to approximately 80% of Google searches. And you're saying, okay, S-cubed methodology, you decide, okay, that can get you there. And the you understand page, the false belief of page 1 quality is exactly that, a false belief. So you're like, okay, now we can break through kind of mental barrier and see what are the solutions after to take as many page 1 slots on Google, as I want to put in the effort to acquire. And you understand market saturation, basically new gear, new people coming into Boudoir, new websites, new people competing on page 1, yeah. But you're also looking ahead, seeing AI is going to take more and more people's jobs. And since everyone's got a smartphone with an awesome camera, it's actually going to force more and more boudoir photographers into the market than potentially ever, just because AI is going to be so widespread. So you're thinking ahead. You like the initial benefits of boudoir, where we're basically, or at least you like the initial benefits of getting more slots page one on Google, kicking out more boudoir photographers off page one on Google. And you also like that SQ methodology can actually fortify your position in the new boudoir peeps coming into the marketplace. And so you're seeing, okay, SQ methodology can help fortify that position as well, kind of like building up the levees for New Orleans, Louisiana, to keep the ocean out, because New Orleans is below sea level. And you want to achieve page one visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, because you need those things in order to become #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you're also thinking ahead to the extended future benefits, which is kind of the more that we execute S-cubed correctly every single day, we're building up these kind of invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our brand, attached to our business, attached to our kind of like invisible mindshare for AI mindshare. And that actually increases the probability that we are brought up in this AI overview premium placement. This probability increases every day we run S-cubed methodology correctly. And this is a premium placement. And also to increase the probability that AI search recommends this, ChatGPT search and Claude search, Perplexity search, Microsoft Copilot search, Google Gemini. Because I remember the last time I looked for a boudoir photographer in a city, they only recommended me 3. And I went on Google to look at that city, like actually how many options exist. There's about 60. So I was like, dude, we gotta figure out a way to get on here. So you're also seeing S-cubed methodology is the best way to get that done. And you're also seeing, since we be on all these social platforms, dominating the social search, we can create a brand much faster, which is really just kind of like momentum mindshare. And you're also seeing that you decide to be a first mover advantage and be the first one in your city to utilize S-cubed methodology, because my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer for your city. So that enables you to kind of box out all your competitors from using this. So you're saying you can get super ahead with all these slots page one on Google, all this momentum of, basically all this momentum of kind of this invisible thematic keyword column mindshare, and really put a large amount of distance between yourself and all your competitors. And conversely, if one of your competitors works with me instead, you understand you'd have to go and rederive or derive for the first time S-cubed methodology. And then you'd have to then go execute it at the same rate as me and your competitor each day. And you probably wouldn't feel comfortable putting that much time in, because you'd never be 100% confident that you've even derived it or rederived it correctly in the first place. And then at that point, even if you equal our effort, our output, you would simply be maintaining the gap we've already built between you. You have to actually double or triple our output to kind of close that gap and gain on us, and kind of pull back those thematic keyword, invisible thematic keyword columns from kind of AI mindshare we're acquiring. You'd have to pull that momentum away from us. And like, dude, who's got 80 hours a day to do all this? Who's got 80 hours a day? Nobody. So you've decided, screw that. You've already decided you're gonna be the first one to actually, the first one in your city to utilize this, so you can get all these initial benefits and future benefits. So that's you. Shoot me a DM. The hospital is currently closed, but if you actually, when I do open DMs for new patient intake, shoot me a DM then, and we'll see if you qualify for utilizing our S-cubed methodology.